You may pride yourself on eating a lot of bizarre food, but one father and son took it much further than I bet you have, eating things like molds and the mummified heart of King Louis XIV of France. I would like to point out I did not choose this story, so it's going to be fun.
It's amazing. His heart?
Yes, so William Buckland was a professor at the University of Oxford, teaching science and geology, and he's actually very lauded, even in this current age, of being a major trailblazer for a lot of science back in his era.
One day he ate a trail.
One day.
He ate an entire trail. He blazed it, which is essentially the same as searing the trail.
Well,
to lock in the flavor of the trail.
He loved meat. He wanted to eat every kind of meat possible that he could, and he did, and so did his son, who we will get to. But he ate, he would often have meals that consisted of hedgehogs, roast ostrich, porpoise, crocodile steaks, and cooked puppies. Not dogs, baby puppies.
It's the veal of pets.
I don't want to eat veal or pets. And then he's also was very fond of eating mice on toast. But then there were also, sure, you know, like beans on toast, mice on toast. That's the same level of good.
Oh, it's so mean.
He said that the common mole was the vilest dish he had ever eaten until he tried the blue bottle fly. His house stunk. It was full of bones and rotten flesh and fossils and pets that were running around amid it all.
Right. Here's the thing. I always get curious as to, like, what should we eat? And the truth probably seems to be, like, we've identified the tastiest stuff. Mm-hmm. That tasty stuff is like fish, chicken, beef, and things like it, right? But the idea, I always wondered what bear tasted like, or like cheetah, jaguar.
How about mummies?
Mummies, not necessarily mummies, but...
Well, I mean, I was taught this when I was doing a mummy project in 6th grade, but people did actually for a while consume mummies as like a treat, a delicacy. But in particular, Buckland, or I should say William, because his son is also named Buckland, he ate a mummified heart, purportedly once belonging to King Louis XIV of France. When he was looking at it from his friends, he just took it, popped it in his mouth, chomped it down. He didn't ask. That was rude. But he also ate a mummified heart.
What's the most historically significant thing you would eat?
I don't think I eat crazy things, though.
What historical figure do you think would be the tastiest?
Oh, I don't want to eat mummies.
I think a fatter person would be tastier because that's where the flavor is. So, like, I don't know who's fat throughout history. That person, though. That's who I'd eat. President William Howard Taft. Not only would he be the tastiest president, but also the tastiest Supreme Court justice. Because he was both, right? Maybe that was McKinley. I don't know. I think he was, though.
I think McKinley was also on that body shape side. So
I would eat him because it's like a McMuffin.
What?
A McKinley.
No. I don't want to eat any people. I think that would lead me down a terrifying road.
So what's the weirdest animal you've eaten?
Probably
inquiring minds want to know.
A sea cucumber.
Really?
Which is like a mollusk.
Compare it to a land cucumber.
It's like a slug.
So was it slimy?
It was stretchy. Like I've had escargot too, and
right.
I consider it to be like I put my chopsticks in and pulled it, and it just wouldn't break, and I didn't like the texture at all.
Like a gummy, gelatinous, like chewy?
Yeah, but really chewy, like almost like...
Octopus?
No, I like octopus. More than octopus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Because I think that is like the upper barrier of what I'm willing to slog through.
I've never had it since. What's the weirdest thing you've eaten?
The weirdest thing I've eaten? I've had calf brains in my mouth at an Armenian party, and then I couldn't eat it. I spat it out. It was too much because I was wrapping my mind around it. But what's weird, I've had heart. I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget anything. I've had heart. I was filming a segment about training animals, and because they're very food driven, and I tried a dog treat, which is primarily made of beef lung, and it was
Yum.
terrible. I tried to order turtle in Colombia once, and the woman was like, "Don't do that. They're terrible."
My grandmother ate turtle during the Depression, but that was more like something she had to do.
Right, you have to. I think it depends on where you are, because like turtle and a bunch of like random stuff you find in like the swamp, it can be made to taste good. So I've eaten like gator, I've eaten rattlesnake, because there's like a sausage place in LA called Wurstkuchen, and like they have all like the
I've been
designer
there.
ones you can try, and everyone tries like the gator and snake, the rabbit and rattlesnake or
I
something
think
like
I
that.
had the vegan one when I was there,
Really?
because I'm terrible.
Have you ever eaten crickets?
No.
Covered? No, I've done that. So I'm cooler than you in that respect. But I think any bird is weird to eat.
Is it?
I think it's strange to eat birds.
I've seen you eat a chicken.
Like I like the idea. I identify like I have hair on my body. Eating a mammal
I think
makes
it's
sense.
odd to eat a reptile
Really?
in that same respect.
Right. It's just like, what are we doing here? But then again, mammal on mammal crime sounds worse than like, oh, I'm not as related to a bird or a fish. I might as well go eat it and absorb its power. I don't know.
Well, speaking of eating turtles, the son of William Buckland, Francis, tells the story about he much followed his father's footsteps of being obsessed with animals and then also obsessed with eating animals. He tells a story about his father taking him on a ride on the back of a turtle, like pulling him around a little pond, and then later he got the joy and pleasure of chopping off the turtle's head for food, and then made note of its like snapping maw, like biting him as it died. And and he followed similar footsteps of his dad. In his home, you would see an eagle, a jackal, marmots, guinea pigs, squirrels, dormice, adder, harmless snakes, slow worms, tortoises, green frogs, chameleon. His home smelled because apparently he dissected a cat and stored it under his bed. It was
Right.
all real gross and made me want to not eat meat for a while.
Right, and it also makes me think these people are psychotic.
Well, I mean, Charles Darwin once described William as being like a coarse, disgusting man. Maybe he wouldn't have agreed that he has a thirst for biology and knowledge, and that he was just, interested in the fame of being gross. Like that one kid who you can dare to eat anything on the playground.
Right, yeah, like paint.
So, I mean, that's up to history to decide. But they both ate a lot of strange food. Let's see. Also had dinner parties with guests were served steaming piles of boiled elephant trunk. Ugh. Boiled and fried
I'm
meat
curious about
taken
that.
from the head of a porpoise.
I think the elephant trunk I'm curious about. Like there's
Ro-
stuff that I want to try, but I know I won't because like it's endangered. But I'm still curious about like elephant trunk.
No, I don't want to hurt an elephant.
No, but if it died by
I
accident,
don't want to get
if
the.
it had a slip and fall
I don't want to get the
situation.
hunger. Roasted giraffe necks, rhinoceros pie.
Have you heard the Louis C.K. bit about duck vaginas?
No.
He's like, I went to Chinatown and it was like, there was a barrel of duck vaginas and I could eat them if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because like, what if I like that? It's like, then I have to go back. No, what if I like the taste? I have to go back and like say, I'd like some more duck vaginas, please.
I mean, a lot of it is like people like not wanting to watch certain weird porns and thinking, oh no, what if this is my thing now after this?
Yeah.
To finish the list, boa constrictors, sea slugs, earwigs, a panther that had recently died at the zoo, and he dug up its corpse and ate some panther chops.
When you start digging up corpses, that's when I draw the line.
So it just needs to be, it never needs to have been buried.
Right. If it
Rotted.
died and you're like, interesting.
It got a proper funeral.
Right.
Or an improper funeral.
Right. If it's like lost though, and they just like dig a hole so the animals don't come, yeah, I'd eat that.
I am not on board for eating a single thing I mentioned in this list at all.
Gotcha.
And, well, I don't, I might consider eating more tempeh and seitan after this story. Thank you, Andrew, for suggesting this story. Audience, what is the weirdest thing you have ever eaten, and would you eat it again? You know my answer. Please let us know what your answer is below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.